Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to RECON. It's Thursday in the year of our Lord 2026. We're gonna we're gonna sharpen our axe today, and we're gonna do so on the scenario of you're working with a buyer. Actually, this is one of my favorite ones because I used to be a buyer's agent 100 years ago, and my teeth would itch when I would have a buyer call me and want to look at property and they weren't pre-approved. So the scenario for today is we understand that, right? So you're having a conversation with the buyer, and we're talking about the benefits and the quirks and features of getting pre-approved before you go look at an insurmountable amount of properties. And they say we understand that. However, we want to look at homes before we get pre-approved. How do you handle that? Who's had that? Anybody on camera had that? Yeah, I've had it. It makes me want to go work at Walmart, quite frankly, because yeah, McDonald's, exactly.
For me.
So, who's in the chat? Who wants to go? Let's get
Well,
some participants.
I'm gonna say that Jose is always ready
Let's go.
to go,
Okay,
and
I got
Jose
the
is up
clock.
with Don.
And I got the clock.
I got the chat. Let's do it.
All right. Hey, Jose, we want to we just want to look at homes before we get pre-approved.
Okay. How long you been looking at homes, Don?
Oh gosh. Depends who you ask. I don't look at them, but my wife's been looking for a couple of years.
Okay. And then your wife does she want to look at homes first before we talk to pre-approval?
That's exactly why she told me to call you and tell you that. Yep.
Gotcha. I understand. What do you understand what the market is doing now?
Well, I understand it's a lot of inventory and we got plenty of choices. So, let's go find that house. We can always get a lender.
Got it. Got it. Now let's can I ask you a hard question?
Yeah,
Let's
sure.
say we go see a house and it checks all the boxes for you and your wife. What
Uh-huh.
happens next?
Well, then I guess we leave it up to you to write the contract and get us going.
Will you be disappointed if a buyer that's already been pre-approved submits an offer and the seller chooses that one because they're pre-approved over you?
Yeah, does that really happen though in this market?
Well, all the good homes are selling fast. The only ones that are not selling homes are the ones that have been on the market for a little bit. That would give you some flexibility.
Okay, well, we could call that lender right then, couldn't we?
We can definitely do that. Now, again, properties are moving fast, but we'll do whatever you want. I just want to make sure that if we find the right house, we don't miss out on it.
Yeah, I don't want to miss out.
Okay. Well, what do you like to happen next?
Well, I guess, do you know somebody?
There's several people I can connect you with.
Time. Matt?
Where were you hoping to go?
Perfect.
Oh, mute yourself. Hold on, mute. Gotcha. Jose, did you get to where you were hoping to go?
Yes.
Okay. Were you hope? Were you? Did you see it going differently in your mind?
I needed to make my point faster.
Okay, right. So here's where I go with conversations like this. I know we usually like to get a few role plays in before we start giving feedback, but I want to set the frame on this. He wants to look at property. Where is he at now? Where is he? Does he own a home? Is he renting? When's the lease up? And the reason why I focus on topics like that first is because remember yesterday and other times where I've said we're interviewing our clients just as much as they're interviewing us. All right, we want to look at properties before we get pre-approved. Well, where are you at now? I'm in a lease. How long's your lease? 3 years. Can you break it? Not really. Okay, but you still want to look at property. Yeah, we do. Awesome. Great. I'm going to Walmart. Like, you know.
See open houses.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Matt, just to interrupt, the question, I know where you're going, Jose, but the question, how long have you been looking at houses, was just so ambiguous and vague. It allowed me to dodge more questions. It wasn't
Right.
direct.
That's why I asked you, Jose, did you get to where you were hoping to go, and did you see it going differently in your mind? Because when you ask that type of question of, well, hey, how long you been looking at properties? It doesn't take you anywhere. It's like if you got in your car right now and you said, I really need to get to this place, but you didn't know where it was at and you didn't put it in the GPS. So you're just going to be kind of wandering around that conversational hallway, if that makes sense. So where are they now? That's the feedback I'm going to give for the next role play, and I think it's Ellie with Kelly. Ellie with Kelly. Where are they now? Start with something along those lines before you start going down the, hey, you should really talk to a lender. Is this a person you should even be talking to? Follow me?
Yes.
All right,
All
let's
right.
roll.
All right, Ellie, let's go. We understand that. However, we want to look at homes before getting pre-approved.
Okay. Really?
Yes, really.
Okay. Okay. Tell me, Kelly, what's your experience looking for homes and buying homes?
I've done it once or twice. It's been a while, but I've done
Okay.
it twice.
When you say once or twice, when was that?
It's been so long ago, I forgot, but I've done it at least 10
Okay.
years ago.
10 years ago. Okay. Would you say that's a bit different now, the market, than it was 10 years ago? How you feel about it?
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm throwing a
What
flag.
would,
Where you go?
Sure.
would
Where
you
you
please?
where you,
I know, I'm there.
well, no,
So
hold
tell
on.
me,
Hold,
Kelly.
hold on, Ellie, hear me out. Where if you were the buyer in his shoes, if you were the buyer and right out of the gate, you're like, well, what's your experience? When's the last time? Is the market different now? What are they hearing? Listen, dummy, things are different now.
You're wrong.
So you're coming, yeah, right, exactly. You're wrong. Whereas when
Okay.
you come from curiosity of, all right, gotcha. Well, where are you now? Where are you living
Okay.
now? Because, last thing I'll say, because when you come from that perspective, it's all about being advocates for our clients. All right, well, where are you at now? Because
Okay.
let me frame this real quick. So they're saying we understand that we want to look at homes before we get pre-approved. Okay, well, can I ask you a few questions real quick? Where are you living now? And then you go down
Okay.
that path before you try to prove them wrong.
All right. Right. Right.
And so,
Yeah, my next question was something similar. It
uh-huh,
was just out of curiosity, what's your situation right now in
uh-huh.
terms of the housing? That's
Right, that should have been the first.
First.
It's yeah,
I
just whoop,
know.
flip it to the front. Because
Okay.
we don't want to go into a conversation with anybody starting out by making them wrong, unless there's always exceptions to the rule, unless you've had conversations with them before. And I think Jose might have heard me have a call last night on our mastermind. Maybe not, but I've been talking to this lady for 10 years now, literally 10 years. And she keeps doing the same thing over and over again. She keeps asking me about these properties. Oh, what about this property over there? Number one, she needs to sell her home first. Number two, she's not ready to sell her home first. And number three, she doesn't have the mental bandwidth to sell her home right now. Why do you keep asking me about these properties? So I said, can I give you some professional advice? Until you have the bandwidth to do this, we're not even talking about property anymore, let alone looking on the internet. So that's the only exception to the rule of, making them wrong. That's the only exception I would say. All right, let's go on to Susan Mullen with Don.
Thank you.
Hey, Susan,
Hey,
I
Don.
appreciate, Susan, we understand what you just said. However, we really want to look at homes before we get pre-approved.
Okay, let me ask you a couple questions if that's all right.
Sure.
Currently, right now, do you rent or do you own?
We're renting.
You're renting, and how long do you have left on your lease?
We're month to month.
Months a month, so you can pretty much up and go at any time.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, perfect. Do you, let me go the other direction here then. Is there a particular reason that you don't want to get a pre-approval before going to look at homes?
Well, we just think there's so many homes out there right now, and when we find the right house, we got plenty of time to do that.
Okay, and your time frame for getting that perfect house? Are we thinking within the next 3 to 6 months, a year out? What's your time frame?
Well, if you find that perfect house, we'll buy it today, but I don't think there's a perfect house. But yeah, we're ready to go. We just think that time is on our side. I mean, any lender can pre-qualify us like within 5 minutes, right?
They can pre-qualify you, yes, but a pre-approval is really what we want to have in hand when we're going to look at homes so that sellers know that we are serious buyers.
There's a difference between the two. I guess I
There
wasn't aware
is.
of that.
The pre-approval is a little bit more in depth and
There you go. Time. They may
Right.
not know the difference between pre-qualify and pre-approve.
that's why I was going to get into that.
Yep.
I know.
Well, and Susan, I actually like the question that you asked about oh gosh, it left the verbiage left me. However, you asked a really good question. All right, I'm going to move on. I can't remember what it was, but it was really
Are
good.
you ready to go? Are you ready to go if we find the perfect home? Was that the question?
I don't think that was it. There was one.
No.
There was one before that, but it was really. It wasn't a question I would normally ask. However, it folded really well into the conversation. Now, when we talk about timelines with clients and we talk about scenarios, don't give them options. It's not multiple choice. So it's, well, when worst case scenario, when did you want to be in the home? When did you want to be in a new home? Worst case scenario. And the reason why I like, and over the past several years, I've questioned if I'm using the right words when I ask that question, because it's on my pre-qualification for my sellers and my buyers. Worst case scenario, when would you like to be in a new home or have the home sold? And I felt like I wasn't getting the right answer because most people were saying, no timeline, no timeline. No, it's actually the right question. They were just being truthful and saying, oh, we don't have any motive to be anywhere. So that's why I don't give the time. When do you want to be in? 3 months, 6 months, a year? Don't give them options. Worst case scenario, when do you want to be in the home? Let them tell you whether they're suspect or prospect. If Don said, hey, I no timeline at all, that's suspect language. Is that somebody we want to help? Last thing I'll say, Susan, if we start to determine that they're suspect, do we really give a crap about explaining the difference between a pre-approval and a pre-qualification? Like if this person's never going to buy, they're never going to do anything. Do you see what I mean?
Matt, I think Susan nailed it. Is there a reason why you don't want to get pre-qualified right now? I mean, Sheila said that.
That was it. It was the
credit to Sheila.
Yeah. What is because in the past I have asked, well, what hesitation, what resistance do you have about getting pre-approved? Mm-hmm. So that's a good question. Is there a reason why you're concerned about it? And I think we lost Susan. So, all right, we'll move on to the next one. Gregory with Kelly.
All right, Gregory. We understand that. However, we want to look at homes before getting pre-approved.
Gregory, unmute. He said he's speechless. He is speechless.
Yeah, right. Never.
Not anymore.
I'm offended that you don't want to get pre-approved, Kelly. All right, go ahead.
Oh, you don't want to get pre-approved.
I will, but I mean, isn't that going to cost me something?
No, pre-approval doesn't cost any money.
Well, I didn't mean money, like it's gonna be a credit pool or something like that, right? It's gonna be a negative. Hey, let's start over. I feel like we're going the wrong way with that. All right.
All right.
All right, here we
Time.
go. Hey, Gregory, we understand that. However, we want to look at homes before getting pre-approved.
Well, I can appreciate that. However, what price range are you looking at? What are you thinking?
We're looking $400,000-$500,000 range.
Okay, and if you found a home in the $400,000 or $500,000 range and you really like it, you think you guys want to buy it?
Yeah, I think we do. Yeah.
But so okay, so you know what would be helpful is if you get pre-approved, then we know what price range you're shopping in, and you got to be comfortable because you don't want to go out there and find a house that's 500,000 and you only pre-approved for 450.
I'm throwing a flag. What is telling? It's not a trick question. Telling isn't selling. You're telling him, hey, you should probably get pre-approved because when you get pre-approved, then you won't lose the house, and you're being stupid right now. So, but yeah, if we want to do that, because I haven't talked about that yet, guys. If we wanna tell them to get pre-approved, ask them a question, tell them a story. So Kelly, let's say we go out and we look at properties. Okay, and you find one that checks all the boxes.
Yeah.
Really hot property. Just came on the market today. And you tell me you want to make an offer on it.
Mm-hmm.
There's one problem. They've already got another one. And that buyer's totally pre-approved and ready to go. Which buyer do you think the seller's going to look at with a better purview?
Yeah, probably the one with the better purview.
Right. Well, the pre-approval.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, right.
And let's say that you said I want to make that offer, and they've got the other one that's totally pre-approved and ready to go. You think that seller's going to wait for you to get your approval?
Probably not. I wouldn't.
Right. Because he may have a really good offer here. So, long story short, do you think that it would at least benefit you in the least bit, just the least bit, to speak to a lender now? Even if we don't finish the process, we start getting the ball rolling.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Do you see how I did the exact same thing you did, Greg?
Yep.
I just didn't tell him.
Yeah, and again, I run into this, and I got to change that tactic now because I've been telling them almost like an advisory kind of role, like, hey, you know what? But
like, hey,
right, but do it more than asking fashion.
You see that train track that runs down right, parallel to US 41, Greg?
Yep.
If you stand on the train track, eventually a train's going to hit you, right? You're being an advisor to them.
Yes.
But in this case, you want to be an advisor. However, telling isn't selling. Okay.
Yep.
Facts tell, stories sell. I just told him a story. Hey, let's see you see this property, blah, 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 blah. Do you think it would benefit you now, knowing that if we found the very best deal sell quickly in any market? So if you found the right one, how would you feel if you missed out on it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, thanks for that, Matt.
Yep. Let's move on to the next one. Gwen Branch with Don.
Hey, Gwen.
Don.
Yeah, thanks for calling back. Maureen and I we want to look at some houses this weekend, and we don't want to get pre-approved just yet.
Okay, Don. May I ask, what's your current living situation? Do you own, rent?
We rent.
Okay, and when is your lease up?
It's month to month.
Okay, great. And may I ask if there's a particular reason why you don't want to get pre-approved?
Well, we just don't want it to hit the credit right now, and it might take us 6 months, and our finances might change in the next 6 months. So we'll wait till we find that house.
Okay. So did I hear you say you're not planning when would you like to be in your new home? Did I hear you say 6 months?
No, I just said if it takes us 6 months to find a house, our finances will probably change. We'll just have to do it all over again.
Oh, okay. So
If
when would you like to be in a new home?
Well, we're month to month, so that's why we want to start looking this weekend. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm definitely ready. Do you mind if I share a story with you?
No, is
I
it a bedtime story?
No,
are
but
you
it might
being
put you to
fresh?
sleep.
Be careful.
No, but anyway,
Time.
time.
All
Okay.
right, so let my brain catch up to my mouth real quick, because at the very beginning he said we don't want to get pre-approved right now. Was that the exact right? I think it was right now. When would you like to?
Good.
That's how I would have started that conversation. When would you like to? Okay. Because then he's probably gonna tell you a little bit about what's going on. Well, we're month to month in the lease, like you said, and we don't want it to hit our credit multiple times, blah blah blah. So then when he got to that point where he said, I don't want it to hit I don't want to have to redo it. I would ask him right then, can would you be surprised to find out that if your pre-approval expires, you don't have to completely redo the process as long as we're with the same lender? So if you knew that you didn't have to jump through hoops over again, would you be more inclined to get the process started now? Now, that might not have been the silver bullet, Gwen, but if that's the objection they're giving you of, I just don't want to have to do it again in 6 months, well, you wouldn't have to, because the lender would just ensure that your information is up to date. None of your income situation has changed. You follow me? Because I've had a lot
Yes.
of realtors that I've coached in the past, that stumps them. They're like, oh, well, that makes sense. You don't want to have to do it again. You don't have to. The only reason you have to is if you switch to a different lender. As long as we're going to stay with the same one, all they would do is they would make sure that you still fogged a mirror and that you still had a pulse. You know?
Okay.
Um,
Thank you.
yep. And then you were going to the story. Um, I would have just started the whole role play off a little bit different. When they give you the ammunition to use against them, take it. I don't want to get pre-approved yet. Well, when would you like to? And then he probably would have said something about his story, or when we find the right one. Then you could have went right into the story. Make sense?
Yes.
All right. Patrick T with Kelly E.
All right, Patrick.
Okay, I'm ready. Ready to rock and roll. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Let's go. So we understand that, Patrick. However, we want to look at homes before getting pre-approved.
Well, that's great, Kelly. I certainly can understand your concern. I've heard that happen. I've heard that before. So, when exactly are you planning to move?
Well, we'd rather sooner rather than later,
Right? So within the next month?
if that's possible.
Oh, great. It could be. I mean, we could find the house this weekend that you'll fall in love with and ready to write an offer on. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. Okay. So anyway, Kelly, I want to talk a little bit about the pre-approval process. It sounds like there's a little hesitancy there. What would be your concern of going ahead and getting a pre-approval?
I don't know anything about it. Like, can't we just go and see the house and make an offer?
Well, sure. Yes, you could. However, I want you to make the strongest offer you can make. And quite honestly, a seller might not even look at, matter of fact, I know they won't. They wouldn't look at an offer that doesn't have a pre-approval document from a lender to show your worthiness of purchasing the house along with the contract. So let's do this. Let me walk you through that process a little bit. I'm going to have one of my lenders give you a call.
Time.
Time.
Oh, okay.
All
Good
right.
job, Patrick.
So you kind of did the Greg Dudley, which is you're telling them, hey, this is kind of
Oh,
what you
yeah,
need to do.
gotcha.
And I say this with love, Patrick. You used a lot of triggering words.
Oh, okay.
Your worthiness. It's so
Uh,
you're essentially saying you might not be good enough. I know a seller wouldn't even look at your offer. Now, there are ways to say it, but it has to be in parable form, or you put the shoe
gotcha.
on the other foot.
Okay.
So what that looks like is this. Kelly, let's say that you were selling your home right now and you had 3 offers. Cash offer, lower. Financing offer, full price, pre-approved, ready to go. Then you get this offer from somebody who just wanted to go see a property on a random Tuesday, but they like it and they want to buy it. There's only one problem. They ain't paying cash and they aren't pre-approved, and we have no idea if they can pre-qualify. What are you going to do?
Well, I'm probably not going to look at it, but I'm going to ask them some questions about pre-approval if I decide to look at it.
Right. But I mean, tell me if you agree. It really doesn't even matter what's written on the offer.
It doesn't matter. You're right.
You've got 2, one that's ready to go pre-approved, and then you got a lower cash one. So you got 2 to play with.
Yeah.
Are you really going to trip over a dollar bill to pick up a nickel?
No, I'm not going to entertain it.
Right. So Patrick, do you see the difference?
Oh, perfect. As soon as you said it's flip the script, flip the switch.
I said the exact same thing. I just didn't make him feel like he's not worthy. I just said, hey, if you were selling your home and you got someone like this, what would you do? Do you want to be that person? Is how I would have closed that. Do you want to be that person?
Yeah, that's great.
All right, good job though.
Thank you.
Robert R. with Don. Robert Reniger.
Yeah. My West Coast buddy.
All right, let's go.
Hey, Robert, we want to just look at homes this weekend before getting approved. And I know it's your daughter's wedding, so do you have somebody else that can show us houses as well?
Well, let's start here, Don. Tell me, what is your current living situation? Are you renting or are you buying?
Well, we want to buy. Want to buy, yeah. But we are renting.
But you are renting, okay.
Yes.
And when does your lease expire?
We've been month to month for 6 months now. We're ready to go.
Okay. So you could legitimately be out in 30, 45 days.
Yeah, as soon as we can get closed.
Okay, very good. And so tell me, Don, what exactly are we hoping to accomplish? When would you like to be in a house? Let's go there.
I don't know, June 1st. I mean, if we found the right house.
Okay.
That's why we want to get looking.
Right, exactly. So and so Don, if you're looking to be able to be in a home by June 1st, I've had several buyers that are in the same situation as you that wanted to go out and look at homes. And then what we've ran into a situation where they weren't able to buy the home because of the fact that they weren't pre-approved. Is there a reason why you don't want to get a pre-approval done?
Well, the reason is you're out of time, but good job for father of the bride to be. Good job. Congratulations.
All right. I appreciate you, Robert, trying to fold that story in. So I'll give feedback on a macro level here. Good job asking him where he's at now, because that's what we talked about at the beginning. Figure out where they're at now. Like, are these buyers that even want to? Are they even in the right hemisphere, stratosphere, universe? Where are they at? Okay. Then figure out when they want to be in the property. Latest date. When do you want to be in it? I don't know if we figured that out exactly. And then find out what the resistance is about getting what about an approval concerns you? What about starting that process now concerns you?
Right.
Right. What's it? Go ahead.
I dance too much. There were way too many words, and I'm dancing around the situation instead of getting to the points that I need to get to.
Right.
One question that confused me, and again, we're getting down to the granular. You said, "Are you renting or are you buying?"
Yeah.
And I think you meant,
It was just
are you renting or do you own?
that was a Freudian slip.
Yeah.
And that's why I said, do you own? But then, yeah, Robert, the one thing I'm most proud of you for is you recognize your blind spots. You realize that sometimes you do use more words than's necessary. You're working to refine that because I can see you thinking about it. So just don't lose that. Keep doing that. Because as you continue to sharpen that axe, less words will come out and you'll know where you're going. Because you already know where you're going. I can see that. You know where you want to get to. You're just working to overcome the obstacles that you've been battling up till now, which is words, using too many words, telling a lot. So when I coach clients, I like to frame it. What is this about? Well, where is he at now? Okay, you're setting the foundation. Where is he at now? When does he want to be in a property? What happens if he's not? Then what resistance do we have about getting an approval? Is there something we're concerned about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then some of the questions I'll ask, I know we're over the top of the hour, guys, so I appreciate your patience. What's the worst thing that could happen getting an approval? I'll ask that. If you were to get approved, what's the worst thing that could happen? Oh, we got to redo it again. Well, you wouldn't have to redo it again, right? That's what we talk. So I want to give them the extremes. Best case scenario, you find the right property. We write an offer. And we don't have to delay at all. You don't miss out on it to somebody else. Worst case scenario, we don't find the right property. And in 3 months or 6 months, we just update the approval. What do you have to lose? Make sense? All right. Yeah, we can do an overtime, guys, if you want to. If not, then I'll just go to a closing. How's that? So anybody want to, Gwen, she's got her hand up. What do we got, Gwen?
Hey, I just have a question because my story that I didn't get to because I was asking crazy questions, was a little different than missing out on the house. I was going with my story where you take people out to see $500,000 houses and you find out they're only qualified for 250 and they end up really not liking any of the houses. Is that a bad story? Should I
No,
go
it's not.
with?
Nope, not at all.
Okay.
Actually, that was when I've said before. I've talked about your dance move. When you're on the floor, I've talked about rolling the dice in that movie Knocked Up, where he's just on the dance floor, he's just rolling the dice, and they said, "Man, he's really overusing that dice." And they said, "I think that's the only move he's got." Well, that was my only shot back in the day.
Yeah.
To your point, Gwen, well, let's say you saw the perfect home, right, and checked all the boxes and you wanted to make an offer. And then we decided to speak to a lender. And unfortunately, we find out we can't qualify to buy it.
Right.
Will you be disappointed?
Thank you.
Yep.
Hey, I'd rather have us be disappointed now what you can qualify for, Gwen, versus finding the house, wasting everybody's time, and then you get heartbroken because you're $100,000 shy. Let's find out let's find out what you can qualify for and look at everything underneath that. Does that make sense?
Yes.